Black Mesa State Park and Nature Preserve in the tippy-tip panhandle of Oklahoma. It is the highest point in all of Oklahoma at 4,954 feet, so just under a mile. You can see it before me. This is the Black Mesa. Trailhead starts over there, and you go way around it, and then you go up on the top, and there's a tri-state marker because we are very close to several other states. Anyway, hope you'll join me today as I go hike Black Mesa. A little history before we begin. Spot in the state of Oklahoma. Currently I'm at 4,301 feet. So you see, a little history first. Currently at 4,301 feet at this little panel here. This kind of tells you about the deal there. If you want to pause the video and read it, there it is. But basically, in short, volcano erupted millions of years ago in Colorado. The lava flow came here to what is now Black Mesa. There's the trail. It'll take about 4 hours to do it. Almost a 9-mile round trip. It's a little bit over 8, I guess. 4.2 according to the sign over there. So anyway, here I go. Wind today, y'all, is something else. I'm about a mile into the trek, so I got about a fourth done. Hopefully you can hear me. That's how far I've come on the Mesa. I'm assuming, looking over there, I think that may be New Mexico. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna keep going though. If you're enjoying this, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're liking my content. Thanks. Definitely an interesting thing to think about. This area, you see all this cactus. It's called Chihuahua. Maybe pronouncing it wrong. Chihuahua cactus. It normally would not be growing in Oklahoma, but this part of Oklahoma where Black Mesa is, it's been called an oasis because you have the extreme western limit of eastern species and the extreme eastern limit of western species coming together right here in this area. And with the unique environment that Black Mesa offers on top, which normally out here in this part of the world, it's pretty flat, high plains. It's different, pretty unique place. Definitely should come out here if you're interested. So I realize this may be hard to see because of the shade. This is a little sun shelter here. Tells you about how Black Mesa became a preserve and the history of Cimarron County. So let's talk about this real quick. A rendition of the Black Mesa. It's at 4,973 feet, so I was off a little bit on my feet earlier. So just under a mile high, and that's pretty cool. So, interesting part about the panhandle of Oklahoma, which I'm all the way out here in the tippy tip of Oklahoma. For the longest time, so this preserve, in short, the state acquired some land, 1959, 100 acres. Nature Conservancy got 1,500 acres on the east and north side, and they transferred it with restrictions and easements to protect it. 160 acres later, so the current size is 1,760 acres. And there's a marker on the top of the monument, which I'm hiking to. Stay with me and you'll see it. And another thing interesting about the area is when you talk about the panhandle was claimed by Texas, as you see here. Texas is just below us here. But because Texas entered the Union as a slave state, and slavery was abolished or not allowed above a certain parallel, which was right here forming that border, Texas had to give that up. So what had happened was this area was a no man's land. So it was a popular hideout for bandits because nobody claimed the land. It was just public land that was under no ownership of any particular state or territory. And as it says here, William Coe, I haven't heard of him, but maybe somebody out there has. He was outlaw, and he had his headquarters called Robber's Roost near this area. And then when Oklahoma became a territory, it became part of Oklahoma in April 22nd, 1899. Now the Plains Indians lived around here. They used pretty much everything in their life. And when the Spanish came in here, the Spanish were the first people that kind of area. Searching different, the city of gold, which is a mythical city they never found because it never existed. I'm going to continue on the trail here. All right, I'm at mile 2 according to the bench over here. Mile 2. I don't recall there being power poles in here. Other than that, there's been very little civilization that I've seen. There's a few buildings back over. You can't really see them. They're kind of over that way. You follow the power poles. But at mile 2, wind is, at least for the moment, has died down for a moment. Lots of plants I would associate with the Southwest out here. You have lots of yucca. I mentioned the Chihuahua cactus earlier. think I'm saying that right. You see out there, yucca, the little junipers right there. Yeah, junipers. That's your main, lots of grass. This is a short grass prairie. Lots of grass. Rainfall, though, is pretty sparse. I think right around 16 inches annually. But in the county seat town, which I stayed in last night, Boise City, sorry, I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Just like Boise, Idaho. But the snowiest town in Oklahoma gets 31 inches on average a year. So it's a little bit over 2 feet, almost 3 feet of snow. That's decent. And as you see this way, we're going to be walking up the side of the mesa soon enough. So you can see we're getting pretty close to the mesa. Going to go up it in a second. But if you look at the layers of Black Mesa, as I explain here, like a giant book on its side. So the very top part, which is called a lot of times it's called a cap rock, kind of similar to what I saw in North Dakota when I was at Teddy Roosevelt National Park. There's like a harder on top, and that is a basalt, or basalt, I'm not sure how to say it, called Breton basalt. It's less than 5 million years old. Then you have sands, and you have sandstones of the Cretaceous Dakota group, gray shale sandstone of Cretaceous Purgatory, Jurassic Morrison and Marl Shale, Jurassic Exeter, red and buff shale marl conglomerate of Triassic Dockham group. So you have things almost, years old prior to that, or 230 million years old on the bottom. And you have dinosaurs, during those times. So one thing is the Morrison Formation. You had Apatosaurus, Stegosaurus, and Allosaurus. And 6,000 bones were excavated from the 134 to 150 million year old Jurassic rocks, led by Oklahoma's most illustrious vertebrate paleontologist, Dr. John Stovall. And he was active here in the valley, maybe not necessarily here at Black Mesa, but he was a professor of geology at University of Oklahoma's museum. As far as wildlife, I've never seen here. It's only my second time here. I came here in January 2018 with, but you have shortgrass prairie transitioning to the Rocky Mountain habitat. So since it's a little bit taller, you get some slightly different animals here. So you get elk, you get mule deer, there's pronghorns, there's sage thrasher, western meadowlark, mountain bluebird, and of course our favorite little critter, the rattlesnake. So anyway, no telling what you might see when you're here. I'm here at the perfect time though, because in the summertime, of course, as you can imagine, this area gets very hot and very dry. So I'm here at the perfect time in March to go up on top. Let's do that. All right, just had 3 people pass me, 3 hikers. I am at mile 3, sitting on the bench at mile 3, and there's the view down. Definite switchbacks coming up the side of the mesa. The trail extends. You really can't see the trail that well from here, but if you look down, maybe you can see the power poles coming up. Anyway, obviously still windy, but it's really beautiful in its own special way. Still got some more to go up, so let's do that. All right, you didn't have to hear me puffing and puffing on top of the mesa. Now, still windy, but as you can see, it looks a lot like below. Just a big flat table on the top. Some sparse trees and vegetation. Well, a lot of grass and cactus, but not really a whole lot else up here. And the main danger in this particular place, even though it's not summer, is dehydration. So make sure you carry plenty of water. And I do have a way to obtain more, which I always take, but we're in a semi-arid environment and there's no water source. So I would bring some with you, at least a couple of liters per person, and also have some in your vehicle so you can tank up when you get back to your vehicle. So at 4.07 miles, in the distance you should be able to see some mountains over there. That's in New Mexico. Maybe they're not mountains, but they're tall hills. I'm not sure what you would call them. But anyway, they're tall places, and you can definitely see one straight ahead. If you follow the trail straight that way, you can see one way out in the distance. It's pretty cool. Marker is up there, so I'd say the mileage is pretty accurate. So let's see what it looks like. Folks, here we go. I made it to the top. There is the marker. This is the marker here. Let's hang out and look at the different things written on the side. So my home state of Texas is that way, 31 miles south. So this particular marker was ordered by the governor, Johnston Murphy. Johnson Murray. It was completed on May the 9th, 1954 by the Oklahoma Highway Department. There is the little marker, the benchmark, showing 4,972.97 feet. Survey crew is listed right there. On this side, facing to the east, so directly behind where I'm filming here, is Kansas. And interesting fact, Cimarron County, Oklahoma is the only county that touches as many as 4 states. Out of the 3,070 counties in the nation, it's the only one that does that. So on this side, to the north, you have Colorado, and it's 4.7 miles due north. Indian Head granite was quarried and finished in Granite, Oklahoma, which is right here. Of course, he's going to do a little bit of a into himself. Cimarron County, which we're in, 4,972.97 feet, so just shy of a couple hundred feet from being a mile high. Lowest point in the state, 287 feet on the Little River at McCurtain County on the Arkansas line, 530 miles east-southeast from here. And to the west, we have New Mexico, which is 1,299 feet due west from here, and Los Angeles is 895 miles from here. And again, if we didn't know it already, this is the highest point. So, New Mexico's that way. I'm going to go that way, see if I can get to New Mexico. Interestingly enough, I'm in New Mexico right now. There's a fence right here that designates the border. So all of this I'm standing in is New Mexico. And if you look way out there, you can see Mount Capullin, which is a national monument, and it's an old cinder cone for a volcano you can actually go to in New Mexico. I've been up on top of it several times, and you can hike around the rim and that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. The obelisk, or the granite marker, is straight back that way, so it's not that far. If you're at the marker, you might as well hike into New Mexico, or hike to New Mexico. I guess technically I'm trespassing. Don't tell me, y'all. Look back behind me, the marker is over here, but behind me, all of that area over there is New Mexico. Isn't that crazy? So the Mesa continues throughout northeastern New Mexico into Colorado, and there you have it. Now I'm going to hike back down. Wish me luck. Oh, and by the way, that was a little bit over 9 miles total and about 5 hours total travel time from here and then back. All right, I made it down off of Black Mesa. Changed shirts. My shirt was a little sweaty, and going to head down to Texas now. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to the channel if you like this type of content. Have you ever been to Black Mesa? If you're interested in going, leave your comments below. Try to answer those for you. Do me a favor, watch one of these videos right in here. And until next time, see you out on the trail. Bye-bye.